Welcome to this interesting panel discussion. What we are going to discuss today is the relevance of industry-academia interaction in increasing and enhancing competitiveness. So we have a very eminent set of panelists here from industry as well as academia. I would just quickly like to introduce them to you. We have on my left Dr. Sangeeta Kohli, who is principal of SK Somaiya College from Mumbai. We have Dr. Jaikumar, Director, Distance and Career Education from Bharatiyar University. We have Professor Mukherjee, who is Dean at CMR Institute of Management Studies. And we also have Ranjan Bandyopadhyay, who is the Global Head of HR for BPS Division at Tata Consultancy Services. Now, if you look at the Indian economy, we have moved from the agricultural focus to service economy over the years. And today, if you look at competitiveness as a nation, I think a lot of it has got to do with how our industries are competitive, how competitive they are, and what is really important to sustain this from the industry perspective is the stakeholders on which they depend for their talent. And universities and colleges are really the key supplier of talent and very important stakeholder for success of industry today. So we have a lot of interesting questions lined up today on this. The first question which comes to my mind is, what has been the relevance, or what is the current relevance of industry-academia interface in today's context in a globalized world? And let me ask Professor Mukherjee for his perspectives as an academician.
Thank you, Rajiv. See, economics pundits in India tell us that India is poised to reap rich demographic dividend. There is an assumption there that young India will deliver, will perform. Without trying to be cynical, I would like to raise a conundrum. What happens if young India does not deliver? Then we will be having, instead of demographic dividend, we will be saddled with demographic bulge around our midriff. And this fear is not totally unfounded. We keep on receiving reports that our graduates and postgraduates are just not employable. And about the figure quoted is 70 to 80%. And that is where the academia and the industry need to collaborate. It is just not a question of supply and demand, which itself is a very big issue. It's also a question of law and order. Just try to imagine that hundreds and thousands of young graduates and postgraduates roaming around the streets of our cities without jobs. That is how significant this collaboration is. This entropy, if I may call it, has to be tackled, and tackled aggressively by both academia and industry. It is not altruism on our part, but if I may say so, enlightenment, self-enlightenment, that we should drive us to this collaboration.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, I would also add, it is not only employability but also the skill development. Like TCS is starting these collaborative courses which are very industry oriented. So that is a very good job in being done in that direction. So they are helping improve the employability skills. It's not only industry participating in placements but also preparing them for placement. So that is how the collaboration takes place, so it helps.
Dr. Jaikumar, from your perspective, being from the university system, what is your thoughts on this?
No, probably, Dr. Raju, we need to have a detailed planning because India is a big country. At the national level, National Planning Commission and the University Grants Commission, they have come out with a 10-year plan. And we have certain national challenges like increasing the gross enrollment ratio, and probably providing opportunity for everyone. We normally call equal opportunity for differently abled, equal opportunity for minorities, religious minorities, linguistic minorities, and opportunity for the rural students. And the third major challenge is curriculum relevance. In that particular context, probably industries can play a major role. The fourth one is the ICT integration. Now, our experience with TCS is for the last 3 years, they are regularly coming to us, and we follow two models. One is with the existing curriculum, the industry, the TCS, they come to us, they look at our curriculum, they validate our curriculum. They also help us to update our curriculum. These are all the two major support they are providing. TCS from Bangalore, they have come and they have supported us. And they have also helped us to design completely a new course. It's called BCom Business Process Service. The other one is BBM, Business Process Management. And we are into second year. And the relevance of curriculum probably can be validated by the industry by looking at the competence of the students, especially for the entry-level jobs. Normally, there is always a major difference between the industry-oriented assessment and the university-oriented assessment. The companies, especially industries, service industries, they come to us and help us to redesign our student assessment program. And they also come and support us. TCS, for the last 4 years, they are supporting us through their affirmative action, enrolling our SC/ST students and train them adequately. And after the training program, they are taken, probably they are going for the regular assessment. And these students are also placed. And several ways industry-institute interaction can be arranged. Only one at the level of curriculum relevance, curriculum update. The second major area is faculty development program. In fact, TCS has organized several programs, not only in Tamil Nadu, in Bangalore, in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, in several other places. We can make use of that particular opportunity to train our teachers, because TCS cannot go to every college. They can only train a group of teachers. The teachers, after the training program, they can go back to their college, respective college, and train the students. And the TCS also support us in terms of our students' assessment program, so that we are very, very confident that this particular area, our students' knowledge is adequate, or our students' skills need to be enhanced. And there are certain areas, the attitude of students is also a very, very important thing. Whenever the companies come, they say that we hire for the attitude. So based on that particular experience, they have created 2 new papers. One is called Campus to Corporate. We have been implementing that particular program in more than 30 colleges, and we could see a good response from the students also.
I think from a industry perspective, Tata Consultancy Services has done a lot of collaboration with academia. We have over 50 memorandum of understanding with the colleges. Over the last 4 years, TCS has partnered to launch several industry-specific, industry-relevant courses. The objective being to take what is being practiced in the industry to the classroom, so that it helps to bridge the gap and narrow down the time taken for a graduate to become productive on the job, and therefore help to improve competitiveness. Because today it is no longer competition between say company A and company B in a particular industry, but I think when global customers look at outsourcing, the biggest risk for us as a country is that if we are not ready as an industry to provide the required services in good time, in good quality, and so on, then I think we are at a new kind of competition. We compete with other countries for the same kind of business, and therefore it's very relevant to have industry academia interface. However, what we see is that it's not just a case of industry who is focusing on this, but we also find that the government of India has played a lot of emphasis on industry academia collaboration in the 12th plan and 13th plan. So let me now put the question to Ranjan on the perspective from the industry. So what do you see as the relevance of the academia interface with the industry in today's context?
So I would like to answer it in 2 ways. The first is on relevance. A is whatever we are doing today, is it relevant for generating employment, or can we increase the employability of Indian youth? Second is that are we being relevant for the future? So the curriculum has to also think about the future of India or the world, or how the industry or the economy, whatever is moving towards. For us, which is again my second part, I would like to say that if you look at the services industry, unlike the manufacturing or other industries, our assets walk in and walk out of the offices every day. So our challenge is to bring our assets back, right? So given this perspective, the assets have to be of very high intellectual capability, because it's not only TCS or any other company that will get benefited. What will happen is, the better the student, the better will be the company. The better the company, better will be India. So we need to start thinking from that perspective. And for other companies not in the services industry, of course, pharma, healthcare, insurance and manufacturing, there's a lot of scope for us to work on. And as most of you all in this panel are aware, we are working towards it.
Yeah, I think if you look at the points made by Dr. Jaikumar and Ranjan, I think two things are coming out. One is definitely there has been a lot of traction in terms of industry-academia interface from corporates and companies like TCS have, in the last 4 years, we have tied up with more than 50 colleges and universities to bring industry-relevant courses to the students, and this helps them to become more readily employable. This also is a big advantage for India as a country, because today's competition is no longer between, let's say, company A and company B in a particular industry, but the competition, if we are not ready with the right talent, the business from global customers could go to some other country. So it is in this context, it's very important that industry-academia interface plays a very important role. Now it's not just corporates like TCS who are emphasizing on the relevance of industry-academia interface. I think the government of India also has a lot of emphasis both in the 12th and 13th plan period. And I would like to ask Dr. Jaikumar, since you are from the university background, to give your perspective of how the national focus has been brought in on relevance of industry-academia interface, and maybe also give a perspective of how it percolates down to the state level.
The University Grants Commission has come out with a detailed document related to the undergraduate program. There are two major challenges. One challenge is teaching fundamentals thoroughly. The second one is providing application experience. Now, providing application experience, probably the industry can play a major role. We have to really provide them adequate experience, how they are going to work in the service industry. There are certain essential qualities that the students should possess before they are getting graduated from a particular college or university. They should work as a team, and they should report the truth, admitting the failure. They should have a sense of joy, and they should have a pride and prestige, whatever work they do. These are all the personal qualities that they have to possess, and probably the universities, the colleges, they have to take up the responsibility to inject that kind of an attitude among the students. Probably the students are also responsible to gain those kind of attitudes. The second important probably challenge is that look at our own curriculum. And recently the University Grants Commission has come out with a program called Bachelor in Vocational Education. There, the flexibility is very, very important thing. Once if the particular graduate is coming out of the university or a college, he has to probably serve in a type of industry. If it is a service industry, he needs to have certain generic qualities he has to possess, and certain qualities specific to that particular industry. And our curriculum should also be very, very flexible. Though many universities right now, they follow the choice-based credit system, there's a need to blend courses together so that they really gain adequate competence to work in a particular industry. That's also a very, very important thing. And at the state level, the state level skills commission, they have come out with a policy document and find out what are all the scope available to work in different kind of industries. We need to have a state level plan, we need to have a national level plan, and also at the university level also we need to have a plan for the entire affiliated colleges. So we have to work together collectively and come out with a policy document. Once if the policy document is available, we need to have a right kind of institution to implement those kind of policies. And we need to have adequate resources also, both in the context of manpower, the right kind of teaching learning materials, the right kind of a technology. And recently, we have been also working with one more area, one more company of the TCS Ion. What we are doing is the volume is high. We cannot really, the university cannot go to the respective college. We have 100 plus colleges. So we are exploiting a technology platform. Whatever content is available with us, we host it, and virtually we reach all the students, all the colleges and all the teachers, and get the adequate feedback from them, and probably will go back again to the students. The exploitation of the technology, especially the ICT technology, is also equally important, and we have to necessarily plan at the university level, even at the college level also, so that we are able to achieve the expected, we are able to achieve the expected results. Rajiv?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the trend, what we come out from this discussion, we see that on one hand it is the curriculum which is very important and the relevance of it in the future. The second is we also see that it's also the blend of technology. So corporates work with academia to bring in both curriculum, bring in technology to enable better learning, more distributed learning, faster time learning, and so on. I think the next question.
I have something to add here. Is because if you look at the Apprenticeship Act, and so far it's about technology, and especially institutions like ITI. Now the government has come up with a draft which will also incorporate graduates in art, science and commerce. There's a draft plan, but a lot of work needs to happen in that area. That will also change the universe or the playing field, because then whatever Dr. Jayakumar said about application will happen at a larger scale, and it will be beneficial for India as a country. I feel, to summarize whatever Dr. Jayakumar said, whatever we do has to be holistic, it has to be realistic, it has to have some credible notion, and last but not the least, it has to be easily accessible. Knowledge which is not accessible is no knowledge at all. So I think these four factors need to be kept in mind.
Yeah, I think let's move now from the perspective of the academic institutes and the industry, and let's look at today's student. Today's student or the college graduates who are at the cusp of getting into jobs and so on. They are faced with enormous choices. So they have so much choice today in terms of job market, in terms of opportunities. Now, when choices are more, you would find the natural outcome is that decision making becomes more difficult. So let's look at it from a student's perspective in terms of how this is affecting our students' ability to make choices. Because when we talk about competitiveness as a country, it also means that don't make suboptimal choices, join some organization, leave it in few months, and then join some other organization till you find the right kind of job. So how are the students today being addressing this issue of multiple choice and decision making? So let me ask Dr. Sangeeta Kohli her perspective, because from her experience with several batches of graduates coming out, do you see any pattern or any trend?
Yeah, actually I was thinking this has become a case of extremes. About 50 years back, options were very less and resources were less and students were less informed about. So they just took up a particular field, followed it, and been there till end. Now the student looks very confused. He thinks this also good, that's also good, that's also good, and industries come, they are not really able to take a correct decision. So here also, yeah, like Sir Jayakumar sir is having a institute which is doing a good job in career planning. So such kind of centers first in the institute will help. Second, industry, if they bring back the alumni who have been absorbed with them, they share their experiences, they are a good source of inspiration to the students, that how they followed their interest, how they are performing, what is their contribution in the industry, whatever were their struggles, how they managed it. So then the students will get properly directed to a particular, following a particular field and being in it for a longer time. Because you rightly said, they go into something, leave, jump into something else, leave, so industry is also affected, students' career prospects are also affected. So on the whole, we are missing on talent and on employability and on resources. So we need to seriously look into this field also probably sir has been dealing with the Career Planning Institute, how they have worked towards it. He would be able to give us more guidance on.
Yeah, the most important thing is career education and career planning process is completely probably a new branch of study in India. And many occasions in India, we simply follow the parents or we listen to the neighbors. We don't have a professional, probably professional career counseling support even in bigger universities. That has to be taken up seriously. And the most important challenge is look at the student's personality, find out his or her strength and promote that particular strength. And the school education is also equally important thing. We need to provide right kind of English language competence. We have to provide them adequate science and mathematics education. Mathematics is also equally important thing. Probably even whether they are getting into banking job, whether they are getting into insurance job, the technology is also equally important thing. The students should be exposed to the right kind of a technology. No, the most important challenge is that parents should be the right kind of a counselor in the first stage. Then the teachers, they also play a considerable role. They should be the right kind of a career counselor for the students. And many schools, private schools, they have this kind of facility. But the government of India and the state government, they should come out with the right kind of a career counseling center in each school and provide right kind of an information. One is sharing information at the right point of time and assessing the student's competence, the student's personality, and guide them to right kind of a profession. As it is rightly pointed out by Dr. Rajiv, there are varieties of jobs available across the country, but the students should take a right kind of a decision at the right point of time, and moving towards that is equally important thing. If somebody says that they are into a BPO program or probably BPS program, they have to have the competence to work independently and perfectly without committing any error. They should provide zero error service, zero error free service, especially when a client is within India or foreign. That kind of training also required both for the teachers and students. And there is a need to regularly visit those kind of industries, and they should also have a feeling about what do they do. This kind of industry institute interactions should also promote the teachers visit, or normally we call immersion program. The teachers should be allowed to work in those kind of service industries, so that when they go back, probably they will orient their students. And our curriculum should also be reorganized in such a fashion so that the focus is more towards skills. Now they have adequate knowledge, but skill is also equally important thing, for which the teacher should have mastery over the skill, and they should check at every point of time so that the conversion rate is also very high, and there is no other problem like somebody discontinue the job and they search for some other new job. Those kind of issues can also be tackled, provided if we address the fundamental issues thoroughly at every level, at every possible level. Raju.
Actually, I just wanted to add on here. If you see abroad, at a very professional level, they conduct this career counseling and planning for children from 10th grade and all. We have been ignoring it to quite an extent. We take it that the child's interest and the parents' knowledge and leave it to that. So if we have those professional aptitude tests conducted, proper direction given, then it will be a win-win for the industry and the student who is going to be employed. So we will not keep losing on hitting the target right at the right time. So we need to really work on having a very professional kind of approach towards counseling the students and helping them to plan their careers in their area of competencies.
So you're saying it should start in the secondary education
Yes,
scale,
yes.
instead of waiting for the student to go to college.
Yes.
Secondary education could be from standard 8th
Yes.
or 9th. ICSE has an interesting way of choosing the stream in standard 9th. But I feel, it has to have some science and rigor. I also feel that liberal arts, analytics and logic have to be everywhere. Science without liberal arts will not be complete. Or music without logic is incomplete.
Right.
Music is all about maths. If I tell this to somebody, they'll laugh. But music is maths, so is English language. I think we need to realize that, and from primary, secondary education, look at counseling and proper guidance, and look at the curriculum also to be seamless.
Exactly.
So, Professor Mukherjee, any thoughts on this?
Yes, I want to share what we are doing in CMR. See, when we looked at this huge entropy in front of us, and unemployability 70–80%, so we started having dialogues with various corporates in Bangalore, across various sectors. And we realized that the most important element which is missing in our education is, as you said, skill development. So we have started our own institute, CMR Life Skills and Soft Skills Institute, to cater to this need across our various colleges. We have 19 colleges in the group. And this has definitely improved things. See, our students' enthusiasm has improved. Their performance in interviews have improved. And it is spread across the entire curriculum. In undergraduate from first year right up to third year. From postgraduate MBA or MCOM from first year right up to second year. And it is mandatory. That's how we are trying to tackle the problem. Got feedback from industry, set up our own shop, and trying to give the skills to the students.
So I think here it's the kind of experience which Dr. Mukherjee talked about. Let's hear from Professor Sangeeta in terms of how has been your colleges, your university's experience with the academia interface. How have the students found it? Are they kind of willing participants in the whole process, or are they trying to do it more for a compliance sake?
No, we have not made it compulsory, because in fact last year it was the first year when we introduced the program, and the students were very happy because Mumbai University has specialized courses in different areas, whether it's management or accounts or mass media. But we saw your curriculum, it was so well designed and complete application oriented. In fact, a student doing the university course for 3 years in accounting finance was not doing that good, completing that much of application, which you were doing in the 6–7 months course. So the students who did that last year were very happy, and some of them did get placed with TCS. The others have also got placed elsewhere. So this year now we have put up a list that only 70% above students will be allowed to do the TCS program, because currently we are planning for the one batch in this semester. So, and there are many applications. So then we will shortlist. We will have to devise a method where we will shortlist from those 70% above students and select the 40 students whom we want to put in the batch. And your campus to corporate course was also excellent, and this year then we planned that we are going to make it compulsory for all the final year students, because it's training the students on all the soft skills plus the corporate etiquettes and communication etiquettes. So we want all our final year students to compulsorily go through that, so that we are going to give them compulsorily. But this finance accounting course, they are wanting to do it, and we have to in fact keep a bar so that we don't allow everybody to follow it.
So I think we saw the elements of the corporate in terms of designing courses, bringing the relevance. We saw the role of academia in terms of accepting the kind of curriculum and adapting to that change. But let me bring in one more piece of the whole puzzle, which is the faculty's role. So from your perspective, what will be the role of the faculty in enabling successful interface between the academia and...
But 1 second, we don't have time, right?
No,
we'll finish it.
We don't have a 20-minute hard stop.
I am saying that.
Because there are 2 more questions, which one more question.
We discuss and everything gets cut.
I think let's let him. This can be
because the future is.
Okay, I'm saying that let's faculty. Let's
quickly.
1 minute and future 30 seconds.
Yeah, on this faculty issue, we used to have companies for placement, coming for placements, and they couldn't select students. They used to come. We have come with 50 appointment orders, and we are able to take only 2 students. So we all were hurt about it. That what are we doing? Why are we here? We're teaching them, but they are not getting appointed even after the industry wants them. So then that's where our faculty started looking out, which industry we can tie up and we can help the students. And so your first batch of accounting, finance and campus to corporate, our faculty sat through, so that next batches they can go through and they can orient the students effectively in this application courses.
So I think if you look at the discussion so far, what we have seen is that it's not just the academia and the corporates, but it's very much the students also who play a very relevant role in terms of making it a success. But while a lot of initiatives has happened so far, let's see what is in it in the future. So the way the industry, the businesses are evolving. Let's have a quick perspective from all the four panelists in terms of what they see as the future emerging like, and how this would shape the way industry academia interface happens in the future. So maybe let's start with Ranjan on this point.
Yeah, because if you look at the different phases of civilization, we have seen that from agriculture society to services society to the Internet of Things, it's almost been about 10 years or 10 to 15 years. But the growth or the change that's going to happen is going to be very rapid. And today we are talking about something called the 5 digital forces. And the 5 digital forces are social, mobility, analytics, cloud, artificial intelligence and robotics. And I think, like I said earlier, that it has to be relevant, and the students need to have a combination of liberal arts and logic and analytics, and that's the future, because logic, analytics and liberal arts will always stay.
Yeah, see, we as institutes also know that student is our customer, and if we don't bring in things which is going to help him to make a good future, we also won't survive. So we are also, taking it as a challenge and trying to find out what helps him. So this credit-based system, it's called as the choice-based credit system, where we are planning to offer so many courses. So like Ranjan said, that you have liberal arts and you have mathematics and you have science combined. So a student from liberal arts also takes some science or maths. So we need to give those kind of options, and the children are demanding that. They also understand that is their future. Today the child is so well informed, he knows that if he doesn't combine a lot of things together, he cannot have his future taking place only through one direction. So he needs to have a diversified kind of scope created for himself. So he is expecting this. So if institutes don't look into it and deliver, they will also not be able to grow and survive. So we're all probably looking into it, and that's why we are tying up with you all, and we are looking into how we can work better in better.
Dr. Jaykumar, any quick closing comments?
And the most important thing is we need to have a right kind of a benchmarking whenever large amount of industries, large amount of institutions are involved. We need to have certain amount of benchmarking and standards, so that when we deliver these kind of goods and training programs and services, we have to maintain certain standards so that the students are benefited, the industry is benefited, and the nation is benefited. That's also equally important now.
Yes, so I think,
to my mind, I think the solution lies in what we just started with TCS, industry integrated courses. I think we are all doing that.
Yeah.
That is the future of industry academic interface.
So I think we had a very interesting discussion here with this eminent panel from academia as well as industry. I think in conclusion, if we were to summarize, I think it's very important, one, to anchor our programs in the future directions and the trends of the business. Second is to be very relevant in terms of what emerging changes are coming in. Third, I think the students also have to play a very relevant part, and they need to really be part of the fully involved in this program, and not just be feeling that they have been thrust into it. I think they also form a very important element of success, and I think the government's vision for the plan periods coming and current plan periods, along with the determination of the academic institutes and the industry is what's going to really determine the success of a very important initiative like this, I think, which will fundamentally define the way our industry is competitive. So competitiveness of the future will definitely depend on successful industry-academia relations. Thank you very much.